Good morning, class 9. Today we will continue with the chapter Nazism and Rise of Hitler. In our previous class, we have studied till the time when in 1945 Hitler was at the pinnacle of his power. Now today we will see what kind of treatment was given to the people under Hitler and his Nazi rule. Did he treat everybody equally, or were some sections of the society ill treated? If they were ill treated, what was done to them? We will study all this today. And this part, what we are going to do today, is very, very important. So keep on underlining things as I will tell you and learn them later on. Page number 60, paragraph 2. Hitler now moved to achieve his long-term aim of conquering Eastern Europe. He wanted to ensure food supplies and living space for Germans. He attacked the Soviet Union in June 1941. In this historic blunder, Hitler exposed the German Western Front to British aerial bombing and the Eastern Front to the powerful Soviet armies. The Soviet Red Army inflicted a crushing and humiliating defeat on Germany at Stalingrad. After this, the Soviet Red Army hounded out the retreating German soldiers until they reached the heart of Berlin, establishing Soviet hegemony. Hegemony means leadership over the entire Eastern Europe for half a century thereafter. Meanwhile, the USA had insisted involvement in the war. It was unwilling to once again face all the economic problems that the First World War had caused. But it could not stay out of the war for long. Japan was expanding its power in the East. It had occupied French Indochina and was planning attacks on US naval bases in the Pacific. When Japan extended its support to Hitler and bombed the US base at Pearl Harbor, the US entered the Second World War. The war ended in May 1945, this you have to underline, with Hitler's defeat and the US dropping of the atom bomb on Hiroshima in Japan. From this brief account of what happened in the Second World War, we now turn to Helmut and his father's story, a story of Nazi criminality during the war. So children, on this particular page, you don't have to learn much. In the first paragraph, I have already told you that you have to learn the tripartite pact. It was signed between Germany, Italy and Japan, strengthening Hitler's claim to international power. Then in the second and third paragraph, you have to basically learn nothing. Only you should know when the Second World War ended, May 1945. Then from the next page onwards, there are many things which you have to underline and learn. The Nazi worldview. How did the Nazis look at the world? How did they view the people? What was Hitler's policy towards the people? Let us see. The crimes that Nazis committed were linked to a system of belief and a set of practices. Nazi ideology was synonymous with Hitler's worldview. According to this, now I keep on underlining, you can write point number 1 here, because now you are going to read the Nazi ideology. According to this first point, there was no equality between people, but only a racial hierarchy. That means the Nazis believed that people are not equal. They should be based as high or low according to the race they belonged to. In this view, blonde, blue-eyed, Nordic, German, Aryan were at the top. This is second point. Because they believed that the superiority or inferiority of people depended upon the race they belonged to. That is why those people who belonged to the Nordic German Aryan race were considered to be the topmost. Now see, on the right side bottom of the page, the meaning of Nordic German Aryans is given. One branch of those classified as Aryans. They lived in North European countries and had German or related origin. So they were the one of the branches of the Aryan race, and the Nazi ideology believed that those people who belonged to the Nordic German Aryans, they were the topmost as far as superiority in the society was concerned. In this view, blonde, blue-eyed Nordic German Aryans were at the top, while Jews were located at the lowest rung. Underline, keep underlining and keep on writing. First point was, according to this, there was no equality. Second point is, Nordic German Aryans were on the top and the Jews were considered the lowest. Third point, they came to be regarded as an anti-race. Who? The Jews. The Jews came to be regarded as the anti-race, the arch enemies of the Aryans. This is third point. All other colored people, this is fourth point. All other colored people were placed in between depending upon their external features. So the Nordic Aryans were the topmost, the Jews were the lowest, and all other people in the society were in between these two, depending upon their external features. Hitler's racism borrowed from thinkers like Charles Darwin and Herbert Spencer. This is no point. Your fourth point ended with external features. Darwin was a natural scientist who tried to explain the creation of plants and animals through the concept of evolution and natural selection. You must have heard of Darwin's theory. Herbert Spencer later added the idea of survival of the fittest. According to this idea, only those species survived on Earth that could adapt themselves to changing climatic conditions. We should bear in mind that Darwin never advocated human intervention in what he thought was a purely natural process of selection. However, his ideas were used by racist thinkers and politicians to justify imperial rule over conquered peoples. Now, the next point, fifth point, comes in the next line. The Nazi argument was simple. The strongest race would survive and the weak ones would perish. This is also the Nazi ideology. It is the fifth point. The strongest race would survive and the weak ones would perish. The Aryan race was the finest. The Nazis believed that the Aryan race was the finest, so they have to survive, and the race which was considered the weak one should not exist totally. They should perish. The Aryan race was the finest. It had to retain its purity, become stronger, and dominate the world. This was all Nazi ideology. So this whole last three lines of this paragraph, all these three lines will come under fifth point. The other aspect of Hitler's ideology related to the geopolitical concept of Lebensraum or living space. Now, sixth point. He believed, from here sixth point begins. He believed that new territories had to be acquired for settlement. This would enhance the area of mother country while enabling the settlers on new lands to retain an intimate link with the place of their origin. That means they believe that in order to expand and acquire more territories, they should get more territories under their control, so that more and more area could be occupied by the Aryans. It would also enhance material resources and the power of the German nation. All this is point number 6. Hitler intended to extend German boundaries by moving eastwards to concentrate all Germans geographically in one place. Poland became the laboratory of this experimentation. This is not to be included in any point. In the previous paragraph, it was your last point. The last paragraph does not include any point. Establishment of the racial state. Once in power, the Nazis quickly began to implement their dream of creating an exclusive racial community of pure Germans by physically eliminating all those who were seen as undesirable. Now we will study on the next page who were considered desirables and who were considered undesirables. So underline the word undesirable. I am reading this again. Once in power, the Nazis quickly began to implement their dream of creating an exclusive racial community of pure Germans. Because then what was the Nazi ideology? The Nazis believed that all those people who belonged to the Nordic German Aryan race, they were the superior most in the society. The Jews were the inferior most, and all others came in between depending upon their external features. So it was believed by the Nazis that the pure Germans were the only people who had the right to live in areas which were being occupied by the Germans, and all other people who were living in those territories or those areas, they were considered as undesirables. That means all those people who did not belong to the German race, they were considered to be the undesirable people. Once in power, the Nazis quickly began to implement their dream of creating an exclusive racial community. The Nazis wanted to create a community where only the pure Germans would live and all others would be eliminated. All others who did not belong to the pure German race would be considered undesirables, and they would have to leave that territory or leave that area. By physically eliminating all those who were seen as undesirable in the extended empire. Pay attention, children, this whole page is very important. Nazis wanted only a society of pure and healthy Nordic Aryans. Pay attention. What kind of a society the Nazis want? They wanted a society where only the Nordic Aryans, pure Nordic Aryans who were healthy and they were pure Nordic Aryan, only these people should stay in the society created by the Nazis. They alone were considered desirable. So who was considered desirable? The people who were pure Nordic Aryans. Only they were considered desirable and fit to live in society created by the Nazis. Only they were seen as worthy of prospering and multiplying against all others who were classed as undesirables. All those people who did not belong to the Nordic Aryan race, they were undesirables, and only the pure Aryans were considered to have the right to live, to prosper and to multiply. Others were not. This meant that even those Germans who were seen as impure or abnormal had no right to exist. Only the healthy, remember the word healthy is used in the first line. Only the healthy and pure Nordic Aryans were given the permission to live. Even if any German was a little abnormal, he was not healthy enough, there was some abnormality, he was handicapped in some or the other way, then he had no right to exist. Under the euthanasia program, Helmut's father, along with other Nazi officials, had condemned to death many Germans who were considered mentally or physically unfit. Jews were not the only community classified as undesirables. So now in this paragraph you will underline who all were considered undesirables. Jews were considered undesirables. Why? Because according to the Nazi ideology, the Jews were the last category of people in the society they could place. So not only the Jews were considered to be undesirables, some other communities also came under this category of undesirables. Let us see who were they. There were others. Many gypsies, keep on underlining, Jews, many gypsies and blacks living in Nazi Germany were considered as racial inferiors who threatened the biological purity of the superior Aryan race. So, who was considered undesirables? The Jews, the gypsies and the blacks living in Germany. They were considered as inferior in their races, and that is why they were considered as undesirables. They were widely prosecuted. Underline what kind of treatment was given to such people. They were widely persecuted. They were killed. Even Russians and Poles were considered subhumans. Even Russian and those who belonged to Poland, even they were considered subhumans. That means inferiors, and hence undeserving of any humanity. When Germany occupied Poland and other parts of Russia, captured civilians were forced to work as slave labor. When Germany occupied Poland and parts of Russia, captured civilians were forced to work as slave labor because they were also considered as subhumans or inferiors. Many of them died simply through hard work and starvation. Jews remained the worst sufferers in Nazi Germany. Pay attention, this paragraph is very important. It tells you how the Jews were ill-treated by Hitler and the Nazis. Jews remained the worst sufferers in Nazi Germany. Nazi hatred of Jews had a precursor of the traditional Christian hostility. Precursor means a person that comes before another person of the same kind. Nazi hatred of Jews had a precursor in the traditional Christian hostility towards Jews. That means in ancient times also Jews were given a very bad treatment. They had been stereotyped as killers of Christ. Why they were ill-treated in ancient times also? Because it was believed that it were the Jews who had killed Jesus Christ. And usurers, see the meaning of usurers is given on the right hand side, bottom children. Money lenders charging excessive interest, often used as a term of abuse. So they were ill-treated. The Jews were ill-treated because it was believed that they were killers of Jesus Christ, and also they were money lenders in the ancient times who had been charging excessive of interest. Until medieval times, Jews were barred from owning land. They were prohibited from owning land. They survived mainly through trade and money lending. Underline, how did they survive? The Jews survived through trade and money lending. They were money lenders. They lived in separately marked areas called ghettos. Underline this line, it is very important. It can come in a 1 mark question also. Name the what was the name given to special areas which were inhabited by the Jews. So you will write ghettos, Ghettos. They were often persecuted through periodic organized violence and expulsion from the land. However, Hitler's hatred of Jews was based on pseudo-scientific theories of race, which held that conversion was no solution to the Jewish problem. It could be solved only through their total elimination. That means Hitler was so much against the Jews that he did not even allow the Jews to convert themselves into Nordic Aryan race. He believed that conversion was no solution for the Jews. they should be totally eliminated. And how they should be totally eliminated? They should be killed. They should be brought to death. From 1933 to 1938, the Nazis terrorized, pauperized, and segregated the Jews. What is the meaning of pauperized? Reduced to absolute poverty. From 1933 to 1938, the Nazis terrorized, pauperized, and segregated the Jews. They kept the Jews totally as eliminated people who should be living as undesirables in separate areas, compelling them to leave the country. They were not allowed to live in those areas where the Nazis were living. The next phase, 1939 to 45, aimed at concentrating them in certain areas and eventually killing them in gas chambers in Poland. This we have studied earlier also in this chapter, that these people, the undesirables, were put in gas chambers where they died of suffocation. The racial utopia. Under the shadow of war, the Nazis proceeded to realize their murderous racial ideal. Genocide and war became two sides of the same coin. Occupied Poland was divided up. Much of northwestern Poland was annexed to Germany. Poles were forced to leave their homes and properties behind to be occupied by ethnic Germans brought in from occupied Europe. Poles were then herded like cattle in other part called the general government, the destination of all undesirables of the empire. Members of the Polish intelligentsia were murdered in large numbers in order to keep the entire people intellectually and spiritually servile. Polish children who looked like Aryans were forcibly snatched from their mothers and examined by race experts. If they passed the race tests, they were raised in German families, and if not, they were deposited in orphanages where most perished. With some of the largest ghettos and gas chambers, the general government also served as the killing fields for the Jews. On this page, children, you don't have to learn anything. Learning part mainly is on the previous page, which we have done just now. Now come to the youth in Nazi Germany. Hitler was fanatically interested in the youth of the country. Pay attention, this page is also very, very important. You will see what kind of treatment was given to children, how were they given education, what kind of education were the youth and the children given, etc. Hitler was fanatically interested in the youth of the country. He felt that a strong Nazi society could be established only by teaching children Nazi ideology. This required a control over the child both inside and outside school. What happened in school under Nazism? Pay attention now. Okay, now in the first paragraph, children, underline and write point number 1 here. Hitler was fanatically interested in the youth of the country. He felt that a strong Nazi society could be established by teaching children Nazi ideology. This is point number 1. Second paragraph, first line, all schools were cleansed. This is point number 2. All schools were cleansed and purified. This meant that teachers who were Jews or seen as politically unreliable were dismissed. Any person, any teacher who was a Jew or was considered unreliable, politically unreliable, they were out of job, they were dismissed. This is point number 2. Children were first segregated. This is the third point. Children were first segregated. That means they were separated. Groups were made, separate groups. Germans and Jews could not sit together. All this is point number 3. Or play together. Undesirable children, Jews, were physically handicapped. Gypsies were thrown out of schools. This you can write as point number 4. Point number 3 I am repeating. Children were segregated. Germans and Jews could not sit together or play together. Fourth point is undesirable children. That means if the children belong to the Jewish community, comma, the physically handicapped, or if they were gypsies, all these three category of children were thrown out of schools and they were taken to gas chambers. All this is point number 4. Good German children were subjected to the process of Nazi schooling, a prolonged period of ideological training. This is point number 5. Good German children, that means those children who belong to the Nordic German Aryan race, they were considered good German children and they were subjected to the process of getting schooling under the Nazis, a prolonged period of ideological training. Not only schooling but proper intensive training was also given to them by the Nazis. Next point, school textbooks were rewritten. Racial science, this is next point now. Racial science was introduced to justify Nazi ideas of race. Next point, stereotypes about Jews were popularized even through maths classes. Stereotypes about Jews, that means the concepts which they had in their mind, old concepts which was there since ancient times, all those old concepts, old beliefs which they had for the Jewish community, these were made popular among the children even in maths classes. Next point, children were taught to be loyal and submissive, hate Jews and worship Hitler. That means they should be loyal, they should have that quality to surrender, they should be submissive. Submissive means they should surrender before Hitler, they should obey Hitler, and they should hate the Jews and worship Hitler. Even the function of sports was to nurture a spirit of violence and aggression among children. This is another point. Even in sports field, violent sports, aggressive sports were taught to the children in schools. Hitler believed that boxing could make children iron-hearted, strong and masculine. That means they will become brave men. They will become iron, as strong as iron if they learnt boxing in schools. Youth organizations were made responsible for educating German youth in the spirit of National Socialism. This is another point. Youth organizations were made responsible for educating German youth in the spirit of National Socialism. 10-year-olds had to enter Jung Folk. Now see, the meaning of Jung Folk is given at the bottom of the page. Nazi youth groups for children below 14 years of age. This can also come in a 1-mark question. Give one word for Nazi youth groups for children below 14 years of age. They were called Jung Folk. 10-year-olds had to enter Jung Folk. That means all those children who were 10 years old, they had to enter into the Nazi youth groups for children who were below 14 years. At 14, all boys had to join the Nazi youth organization, Hitler Youth, where they learned to worship war, glorify aggression and violence, condemn democracy, hate Jews and the communists. This is another point. So you must have observed till now on this page that from their childhood itself, the children and the youth in Germany were taught what? Violence, aggression, revolt, rebellion, being as strong as iron, as hard as iron, by learning sports like boxing. So that feeling of aggression, that feeling of killing each other, killing the undesirables, all this was instilled in them since their childhood itself. At 14, all the boys had to join the Nazi youth organization, Hitler Youth. It was called Hitler Youth, where they learned to worship war, glorify aggression and violence, condemn democracy, and hate the Jews and communists, gypsies, and all those categorized as undesirable. So all of these, whether they were Jews, they were communists, or they were gypsies, all had to be hated by the youth. After a period of rigorous ideological and physical training, they joined the labor service, usually at the age of 18. Then they had to serve in the armed forces and enter one of the Nazi organizations. This is another point, children. After a period of rigorous and ideological physical training, they had to serve in the armed forces and enter one of the Nazi organizations. So this is your last point. The points began from the first paragraph, and this is your last point. The Youth League of the Nazis was founded in 1922. 4 years later, it was renamed Hitler Youth to unify the youth movement under Nazi control. All other youth organizations were systematically dissolved and finally banned. Next page. The Nazi cult of motherhood. Children in Nazi Germany were repeatedly told that women were radically different from men. Pay attention. The fight for equal rights for women and men that had become a part of democratic struggles everywhere was wrong, and it would destroy society. So this was the concept in the under the Nazis in Germany. What was the concept? They had in their minds that men and women were not equal, and the fight for equal rights for men and women is going to destroy the society, and it was a totally wrong thing to do. While boys were taught to be aggressive, masculine, and steel-hearted, girls were told that they had to become good mothers and rear pure-blooded Aryan children. So it was very clearly, a distinction was made very clearly among boys and girls by telling them that boys had to be aggressive, they had to be very strong, they had to be masculine. That means they had to be very brave men. And girls, their duties was only to become good mothers later on and give birth to children who belong to the pure Aryan race. Girls had to maintain the purity of the race, distance themselves from Jews, look after the home, teach their children Nazi values. So this was the duty of the girls. They had to be bearers of the Aryan culture and race. In 1933, Hitler said, "In my state, the mother is the most